Alright, we've got our tag ends done on both ends. We've already got one string separator in. What I like to do at this point is, if you remember at the beginning, we put some tension on these posts. So I'm going to tighten up, loosen up on this a little bit, run this ring out. And then I'm going to put, once I did that, I'm going to stretch this string to, just for a few seconds, at about 200 pounds. Also, while that's sitting there at a couple of 100 pounds, I'm going to take one of these strings out that we put in there earlier, and I'm going to separate both colors completely. Put it through, and then I just kind of put a few twists in there. What that's going to do is separate the two colors. But when we get ready to put the peep sight in, all you got to do is pull on this string and your colors are automatically separated. Alright, now we've had that on a little bit of tension, that just kind of evens out the strands, and where they're all a little bit, closer to the same. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the second stretcher in. It's got a lot of grooves. It doesn't matter which groove you put it in when you're doing just two colors like this. Now back them up as close as you can without putting too much of a bind on where you did your tag ends. Hopefully y'all can see that. At this time, we'll put it on about 100 pounds of pressure just to hold it steady. Now I've got a piece of string here somewhere. What we want to do is just wrap around each individual color one time to where we're crossed over, and put a little pressure on that string and pull down. You can see we've got a lot of wax coming off of these strings. You want to get that wax off, because that's going to let your fibers lay down a whole lot smoother whenever you twist it up and start stretching. If you have a lot of wax in between, it's going to be a little lumpy, and you're not going to like it. Anyway, now we're going to do the pink. Alright, now that we got that, you can kind of see too, it kind of pulled the colors, it pulled the strands all together kind of round. And now we're ready to twist. This one calls for 34 rounds. Now normally what I'll do before I take out my separators is I'm going to run about 2/3 of my twist. But I'm going to set, before I start twisting, I want to be at probably about 50 pounds tension. There's marks on the jig here that real easy to read. They'll show 100, 200, 300, and 400. The maximum you can stretch with this head is 400 pounds. So I'm going to set mine. It's just an eyeball deal here, about 50 pounds. You've got your separators in there. The reason we put these separators in there, and you'll see once we start twisting, that's going to make our string start twisting in the middle, and it lets the twist work from the inside out, so you don't end up with a bunch of twists on one end and then not many on the other. Kind of helps keep things uniform. And I'll put about 2/3 of my twist in there with these separators in there. But as you're twisting, you're going to be gaining poundage. Now I try not to let my poundage go over 100 pounds while I'm twisting. So I'm going to start, it's going to be 34 rounds. And we're sitting at about 50 right now. Usually 10 to 12, you're going to be at about 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see it starts twisting, and it's all twisting up in the middle. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, right now we're at about 100 pounds. So I'm going to back it off. Usually about 2 rounds will get you enough. You lock it back up. 2 rounds will get you enough and get you back down to about 50 pounds. So anyway, we're at about 12 right there. So we're going to go again. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, 22 total rounds. That got us back almost to 100, and that's about 2/3 of where we need to be. I'm going to back it back off to about 50 pounds, and then we're going to take our separators out. It's going to get kind of loose, so after you take the first one out, just get you a round or so in the clamp. And that you can kind of put a little twist in it by hand. It kind of helps work things down. So we have 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 34. Alright, now we've got our 34 in there. At this point, you got all your rounds. Your string is starting to look like a string. We're going to go ahead and tension it up to 300 pounds. Alright, and that's where we're going to stretch this string at, as far as until we get it stable. It's going to have some stretch in it for a while. So at this point, you're going to have to you'll keep adding into there. Usually in about 30 minutes, this Fury will be stretched out pretty good. But it may vary. I usually try and let mine go about an hour. But like I said, it just varies. At this point, while it's stretching, to make the string nice and pretty, what we're going to do is it's called, well, this string's a little small. It's called burnishing the string. Here's one we were looking for earlier. And I just like to start at one end and go completely, put some tension on it. And what that's going to do is make the string nice and round. Try not to burnish too much. Over burnishing has a tendency, some say, to give you lumps in the string. I've had that several times. I'm not sure what exactly causes it, but it doesn't happen very often. But anyway, now that we've got this done, we're going to go ahead and keep stretching. Like I said, it should take probably 30 minutes to an hour. And once we get this stretched, you get it stretched, it's a good thing to let it relax for a while. When it quits moving at 300, take it off the stretcher, or just loosen the stretcher up, let it sit for another 30-40 minutes, and it just kind of lets everything go back into place. So we're going to be stretching a while. Whenever we get back at it, we'll get back with you. Thanks.